The following story was submitted to us for narration. The lady would like to remain anonymous, but this is her story in her own words. I am a 69-year-old widow. I was married for 40 years, had 3 bouts of cancer, and my husband died in 2012. I decided after 8 years of being a widow that I would go on Match, Windows Dating Online, and Senior Online Dating to look for someone for friendship and companionship. I knew nothing about online dating scams. A man calling himself Craig Spielberg contacted me, and we chatted a few times on the site. Then he suggested we text and email. I didn't see any reason not to, so I agreed. He said he was a structural engineer and was getting a crew together to go into the Gulf on a platform to do repairs. During our conversations, he sent me his website with his pictures and a picture of his house in Easley, North Carolina. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. We talked for about a month, and I really cared for him. He told me that he was born in California, was raised in France because that his dad had worked and then moved with his family to Germany, and he had an accent of a mixture of French and German. My kids became suspicious and began investigating him. His profile picture turned out to be of James McNeil, a motivational speaker. I confronted him on this, and he said he was friends with James and that they were goofing around, and James's picture was put on his profile and they couldn't get it deleted. So being the fool I am, I fell for it and continued to talk to him. The first thing he asked me to do was open a SoFi account because he wanted to put money in there for me. So I did. This gave him my social security number, etc. I felt uncomfortable with that and I canceled the account. After that, he wanted my bank account, debit account numbers, but I never gave it to him. He asked me for an Amazon card to send to his granddaughters because he couldn't. Being on the platform, he didn't bring any credit cards with him because they were not needed. So I agreed. The next thing that happened is a part broke on the oil rig, and he couldn't leave it there until it was fixed. And he asked me for $9,000 because he had no one else. I said I couldn't do that because I'm low income and I don't have that kind of money. Then a miracle occurred, and his daughter gave him all of her savings, but he still needed $600, and so I could help him so he could get off the oil rig platform and come to me, and we would live happily ever after. So being the fool that I am, I opened a credit card and gave him the money. All in all, I gave him $1,400. The next thing that happened is that he got the part fixed and he was coming home. This check he was supposed to get was for $17 million, and he didn't know how long it would take for the check to clear the bank, and would I give him money for a helicopter to come and get him off the platform. I refused to do that, and at that point he turned mean towards me. It was my fault his daughter was homeless because she gave all of her savings to him, and she was in the wildfires in California. The next thing he pulled on me was that he wanted me to help him set up a Facebook account so we could be friends on there. And I didn't think anything of it, so I agreed. But because I was doing it from my computer, he had to use my password. I didn't think it would do any harm, being the fool that I am, so I let him have my password. He couldn't do it from the platform because it wasn't his computer. When I tried to get him his own Facebook page, his phone number came up as being in Nigeria. He told me it was the company phone, and he used that, and that's why it came up like that. One day, when I was on Facebook, I saw a heart at the bottom of a page, so I clicked on it and realized Facebook had a dating site, and that he had created a profile using a picture which was my dog. The pictures that he had sent me of some man's profile was also on there. He said his dog's name was Kathy, which is my name, and we went by this name of Edmund. And he had messaged over 100 women. I knew it was him because after 5 months, I knew the way he talked. I messaged all the women and told them that they were talking to a scammer. I then changed my password. When I confronted him, he called me the scammer and told me that he was going to get me and that I was going to ruin his good name. That was the last time I talked to him. Since watching your videos, I've become educated. He would send me a beautiful saying every morning and text me throughout the day. I now realize that it was a script, and I think that I talked to many different people during the text. He had very good English, and sometimes the person who texted me had very poor English. There was so many things that were said, I've probably forgotten many things. I still cry every day over him. He was the first man I had contact with since 1970. I felt like I was really in love, but now it feels like emotional damage. Thank you for letting me share my story.